Imagine a man so influential, so powerful, that his legacy has echoed through millennia. This man is Nimrod. Born to Cush, himself a son of Ham and a grandson of Noah, Nimrod's lineage was marked by survivors, trailblazers. As a young boy, he began to display signs of exceptional leadership and strength. It was said that no one since the foundation of the world was found like Nimrod, powerful in both hunting and in rebellions against the divine. His persuasive nature led him to convince mankind to attribute their happiness not to God, but to his own excellency, a move that would soon transform the world into a tyranny. His power lay not just in his physical strength, but in his ability to sway the minds of men, making them rely on his might instead of fearing God. Thus, from a young age, Nimrod began to shape his destiny, setting the stage for a life that would forever change the course of human history. Nimrod wasn't just a hunter of wild beasts. He was a hunter of men. A master manipulator, Nimrod had an uncanny knack for bending people to his will. His charisma was as potent as a venom, and his influence as pervasive as the air we breathe. He was, as the Targum of Jonathan so pointedly describes, powerful in hunting and in rebellions against the Lord. But this wasn't a man content merely with hunting animals. Nimrod saw in humanity a different kind of prey, one that could be hunted not with arrows or spears, but with words and ideas. He sought to ensnare the minds of men to make them his loyal followers. The Jerusalem Targum paints a vivid picture of his methods. He was powerful in hunting and in wickedness before the Lord, for he was a hunter of the sons of men. Nimrod didn't merely hunt men. He lured them away from their faith, persuading them to abandon the judgment of the Lord and adhere to his own. Nimrod's strategy was as simple as it was effective. He convinced people to ascribe their happiness to him, not to God. He made them believe that his own excellence was the source of their prosperity. In essence, he positioned himself as a deity, a figure to be revered and followed. But his rule was not benevolent. It was a tyranny, a reign of fear and power. Nimrod believed that the only way to keep men from fearing God was to make them fear him instead. He used his charisma, his rhetoric, and his apparent invincibility to establish a rule based on control and manipulation. Under his reign, society changed. The dynamics of power shifted, and the concept of divine authority was replaced with human authority. Men started to look towards their fellow men for guidance rather than towards the heavens. Nimrod's rule was not one of benevolence, but of control, manipulation, and power, changing the dynamics of human society. From the blood and sweat of his conquests, Nimrod built a city, the city of Babylon. This was not just another city in the ancient world, it was a monument of defiance, a testament to the power of a man who dared to challenge the divine. It was here that Nimrod, the great hunter, the powerful tyrant, established his stronghold. Babylon was more than bricks and mortar. It was a manifestation of Nimrod's audacity, a reflection of his character. Just as Nimrod was an antagonist of God's truth, so too was Babylon. It was a city that bore the mark of its founder, becoming a great adversary of God's people. Babylon, under Nimrod's rule, was a city that stood in opposition to the divine order, a city that thrived on rebellion. But what was it that made Babylon so significant? Why does it still resonate with us today? To understand that, we need to delve into the cultural, historical, and religious layers of this ancient city. Culturally, Babylon was a melting pot. Nimrod's conquests brought together a diverse array of peoples, each with their own traditions and beliefs. This blending of cultures created a vibrant and dynamic society, a society that was as robust as it was diverse. Historically, Babylon was a city of great importance. It was one of the earliest and most influential civilizations in the ancient world. Its influence stretched far beyond its borders, shaping the course of history in the region and beyond. Religiously, Babylon was a city of contradictions. It was a city that rejected the divine, yet it was also a city that was deeply spiritual. It was a city that defied God, yet it was also a city that was steeped in religious practices and rituals. Babylon was more than just a city. It was a symbol of Nimrod's power, a testament to his defiance against God. Even today, thousands of years later, the name Babylon still echoes with the resonance of Nimrod's audacity, his power, and his defiance. In Nimrod, we see the first attempt by Satan to raise a human universal ruler of men. Nimrod's reign marked a pivotal point in history where mankind was persuaded to rely not on divine providence but on human power. This shift from divine authority to human authority was not merely a change in governance, but an insidious attempt to steer humanity away from God. Nimrod's rule is often compared to subsequent attempts by figures such as Nebuchadnezzar, Alexander the Great, and Napoleon Bonaparte. Nebuchadnezzar, like Nimrod, was a powerful ruler of Babylon. His reign is remembered for its grandeur and tyrannical rule, much like Nimrod's. Alexander the Great, who conquered vast territories, was lauded for his military genius. But beneath the glory and conquest, there was a desire to establish a universal human rule that echoed Nimrod's ambition. Napoleon Bonaparte, with his revolutionary ideas, aimed not only to rule France but to dominate Europe, if not the world. His rule, though short-lived, bore a striking resemblance to Nimrod's reign. However, all these rulers, despite their grand ambitions and momentary triumphs, failed to establish a lasting universal rule. They were mere mortals, bound by the limits of human strength and the sands of time. Their reigns, though significant, were temporary. In contrast, the concept of the Antichrist suggests a universal ruler with seemingly unlimited power and influence, a ruler who not only governs all of humanity but also challenges the divine authority of God. Nimrod's rule, therefore, can be seen as a prophetic foreshadowing of the rise of the Antichrist. Just as Nimrod persuaded mankind to rely on his power rather than God, the Antichrist is believed to lead humanity away from God. The parallels between Nimrod and the Antichrist are striking, suggesting a cyclical pattern in history where mankind is repeatedly tempted to choose human authority over divine providence. Nimrod's rule was not just a historical event, but a prophetic foreshadowing of the rise of the Antichrist. This perspective offers a deeper understanding of history, revealing not just the events that transpired, but the underlying spiritual battle that continues to this day. Nimrod may be gone, but his influence remains. The echoes of his reign, the splintered fragments of his legacy, persist in the annals of history and the collective consciousness of mankind. His story, one of audacious power and unparalleled influence, persists through the ages, a tale as old as time itself, yet as relevant now as it was in the dawn of civilization. Nimrod, the mighty hunter, the ambitious founder of Babylon, the first universal ruler of men, was a figure of immense power. His life was a testament to the raw, unfiltered essence of authority and the intoxicating allure it held over mankind. His rule was not purely physical, but psychological as well. He persuaded mankind to ascribe their happiness not to God, but to his own excellence. His reign was a tyranny, a testament to the power of manipulation and persuasion. In the grand scheme of human history, Nimrod's influence was profound. He was a pioneer of sorts, a trailblazer in the realm of tyranny, setting a precedent for future rulers. His legacy can be seen in the likes of Nebuchadnezzar, Alexander, Napoleon, and numerous others who sought universal dominion over men. Yet his influence extends far beyond the realm of politics and power. His life and reign have shaped cultural, religious, and historical narratives. His story is interwoven in the fabric of our collective history, a part of the tapestry that forms the backdrop against which the human story unfolds. It is a tale that highlights the eternal struggle between good and evil, a parable of power and its potential for corruption. In religious contexts, Nimrod's story has been used as a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the dangers of hubris and the perils of turning away from divine guidance. His narrative is a powerful testament to the destructive potential of unchecked power and the devastating consequences of rebellion against the divine. In the realm of history, Nimrod's legacy has served as a cornerstone, a starting point from which subsequent narratives of power and authority have been built. His story has offered invaluable insights into the dynamics of power, the nature of tyranny, and the complexities of human psychology. In terms of cultural significance, Nimrod's legacy has permeated various facets of society, from literature and art to philosophy and folklore. His story has inspired countless works, provoked endless debates, and sparked countless imaginations. Nimrod's life serves as a stark reminder of the power of influence, the allure of power, and the eternal struggle between good and evil. His legacy, etched in the annals of history, continues to reverberate through the ages. It is a legacy that transcends time and space, a legacy that continues to shape our understanding of the world and our place within it. Nimrod may be gone, but his influence remains, a constant reminder of the power of a single individual to shape the course of history.